So you're thinking about moving to Georgetown, Texas. Well, before you start packing, you might want to hear me out. Don't get me wrong, I love Georgetown. It's a great place. It's a cool suburb just outside of Austin, but it may not be the best fit for everyone. So in this video, we're going to talk about 6 reasons you may not want to move to Georgetown, Texas. Hi, I'm Tiffany Moore. I'm a local realtor and broker right here in Austin, Texas. I help people from all over the world move to Austin. If that's something that you're interested in, go ahead and jot my info down. Email me, text me, call me, whatever is easier for you. I'm going to get you squared away when you are moving to Austin. So today's topic is a little bit controversial. We're going to dive into the top 6 reasons you may want to think twice before you move to Georgetown, Texas. The first one is traffic. So Georgetown is outside of Austin, but it has still got Austin traffic. And traffic and driving in Georgetown can really be a nightmare. Rush hour can last for hours, just like rush hour anywhere. And you're going to be in your car for long periods of time, which is normal for every rush hour, but it's really hot here. So to be sitting in your car when it's that hot during rush hour, it just adds an extra layer of agitation, and it's not that fun. So I'm specifically talking about traffic on I-35, which basically is the main thoroughfare in Georgetown, going from Georgetown down to Round Rock and into Austin. Any time of the day you're on I-35, it's horrible. Like it's especially bad during rush hour, which we all know. The rush hour is going to be anywhere from like 8 a.m. to 9:30 a.m. And in the afternoon, anywhere from like 4 to 6 p.m., unless it's a Friday, and then traffic usually starts at like 3 p.m. Not in the summer. Traffic is usually much better in the summertime, so we don't have like parents dropping kids off in the buses and all those things, but it can still be a nightmare. What drives me crazy about traffic in Georgetown is that it's crazy even when it's not rush hour. So you'll be on I-35 driving up north or down south to and from Georgetown, and traffic is still insane. So I don't really understand what's going on. There is a lot of construction going on in and around Round Rock and Georgetown, which clogs everything up, but every time I drive to Georgetown, I look at my clock and I'm like, oh my gosh, it's 1 p.m. on a Wednesday. Why are we having traffic jams? Why is there crazy traffic? So just have to say, like, if you are not coming from a high traffic area and you're coming from more of like the Midwest or more of a suburban area, traffic in Georgetown is something that you're definitely going to have to get used to. But having said that, if you're coming from some of the other major cities that a lot of people are moving to Austin from, like San Francisco, Los Angeles, New York, Seattle, traffic is not going to be as bad as those areas. You're going to come to Austin and be like, that's it. This is all you guys got. It's nothing. So everything is relative. The traffic here is going to be obviously relative to what you're used to. But I want to say in general, even though it's a suburb of Austin, don't expect traffic to just be like super easy and it'll take you 10 minutes to get everywhere. It can be difficult sometimes. Second reason not to move to Georgetown is the cost of living can be high here. So the cost of living is higher than the national average, and this is mostly due to the housing cost of living. Everything else is either at or below national average. So if you're coming here from San Francisco, from LA, or from New York, the cost of living in Georgetown is going to be significantly lower than what you're used to, hands down. And this is part of everything being relative, like we just talked about. However, if you're coming to Georgetown from pretty much anywhere else in the US, Georgetown may be a little bit more expensive than what you're used to. And again, mostly when it comes to housing. Everything else like milk, bread, eggs, all of that stuff is relatively consistent with the national average. But it's really the housing that is going to surprise you. So if you're coming from Lexington, Kentucky, or Mobile, Alabama, any place like that, expect for an overall higher cost of living because the housing is just going to be more expensive. Housing, insurance, taxes, everything related to the housing, it's going to be more expensive. So for all of my clients that I work with, we have a Zoom call to make sure, number one, Austin is a place that they want to live. It fits their lifestyle, it fits their budget, there's jobs here, all of those things. And this is one of the things that I talk about, is I want to make sure people have a really good understanding of what the real estate market looks like in Austin today, like whatever day that we're speaking, because the market is changing here all the time. So for people that are moving here from New York and California, I tell them how low prices are and they're really excited. For people who are moving here from pretty much anywhere else, I'm going to talk about the real prices that they can expect if we're looking for like a 4-bedroom, 2,500 square foot house in a certain area. Like we're going to talk about specific prices and just share with them what is happening in the market today so they have clear expectations of what it's going to be like moving forward. I don't want anyone to move down here under false pretenses or think like, oh my gosh, it's like the Wild Wild West and they're just giving land away for free. Yes, if you're coming from California. No, if you're coming from pretty much anywhere else. Austin is still relatively expensive when it comes to the rest of the country. The third thing that you want to be aware of when you're thinking about moving to Georgetown is the weather. So it is no secret that Georgetown gets pretty hot and humid during the summer months. And if you're not a fan of the heat and of sweating all day long, this may not be the place for you. So the weather in Georgetown, Texas is generally warmer and more humid than Los Angeles and San Francisco, than New York or Seattle. So the average high temperature for Georgetown in the summer months is 90 to 95 degrees, and the average low temperature during the winter months is around 40 to 45 degrees. When we compare that to Los Angeles, which has an average high of 75 to 85, Austin is much hotter. And when I say Austin, I also mean Georgetown. Right now, as I'm filming this, the Earth is experiencing some of the hottest temperatures in recorded history, and Austin and Georgetown is no exception. In July, Austin broke yet another heat record. Austin hit temperatures of 105 or higher every day from July 10th to July 20th. This is an 11-day streak, and this breaks a 100-year-old record that was set in August of 1923. The streak was broken on July 21st when temperatures only got up to 104. This is a big deal. If you're not used to the heat or you don't like being in the heat, you're going to have a hard time living in Georgetown and really enjoying your life during the summer months. And summer for here runs from like June to September. Our first 100-degree day this year was like in June, and it's going to be 100 until we get to like mid to late September. That's 4 months. If you don't like the heat and you don't like sweating, that's a really good chunk of the year that you may be miserable. So this is something to make sure that you're aware of. I really make sure that I talk about the heat and lifestyle when I talk to people on my Zoom calls. I encourage them to come out here and visit in July or in the summer so they can really experience what it's like to live here and to live in the heat. Also, Georgetown experiences higher levels of humidity than some of the other cities that people may be moving from, like San Francisco, New York, Los Angeles, things like that, and that the humidity makes the heat feel more intense. The fourth reason you may want to think twice about moving to Georgetown, Texas is the bugs. So with the heat and the humidity come a lot of bugs, from mosquitoes to cockroaches. You're definitely going to want to invest in getting your house sprayed if you decide to move to Texas. So I get my house sprayed inside and out every quarter. So do most of the people that live in Austin and in the Austin area. Even so, with the record heat that we just talked about, bugs are looking to escape from that as well. So you're going to have more bugs trying to get into your house when it is 105 degrees outside. And not just when it's hot, also when it's very rainy. Pretty much anytime you don't want to be outside, bugs don't want to be outside either, and they're going to try and come into your home. They can handle the heat for like a day, they can handle rain for a day, but when we've had like 11 days of it being 105 or over, they cannot deal with that. So they're going to try and find any nook and cranny that they can to get into your house. So if you cannot deal with bugs, Texas may not be the best place for you. I'm not saying that your house is going to be like infested and crawling with bugs, but it is something to be aware of. Like, you are going to have bugs. You are going to find a cockroach here and there. Just get your house sprayed inside and out. It doesn't matter which company you use. Everyone kind of does the same thing. But it's just another service that you're going to want to plan on and add so that you don't have bugs all over your house. In general, the cities that we've been talking about, like Los Angeles, San Francisco, New York, Seattle, they're going to have fewer bugs, fewer mosquitoes, and fewer cockroaches because they have lower temperatures and lower humidity, which conditions are less conducive to the breeding and survival of these pests. So we have high heat, we have high humidity, which is more conducive to the breeding and survival of animals and pests. Therefore, that is who we've got. But those other cities have higher instances of other pests like ants, spiders, termites, things like that. You really can't escape it. There's bugs wherever you go. You may not be seeing them where you're at right now, but they're there. You're just going to see more mosquitoes and more cockroaches in Georgetown and the Austin area. The fifth reason you may want to think twice about moving to Georgetown is because of politics. And I kind of say this as a joke because Georgetown is really fairly evenly split when it comes to Republican or Democrat. It has a reputation for being fairly conservative, and it is true that the further away you get from Austin, the more conservative your town is going to be. But what I think is really interesting is that for the 2020 presidential election, Williamson County, which is where Georgetown is, Georgetown and a bunch of other cities, their votes were split pretty much down the middle, Republican, Democrat. And in fact, it actually tipped the scales in favor of Democrats. So Democrats won by 1.41 percentage points over Republicans in the 2020 presidential election for Williamson County, where Georgetown is located. And these results include other cities like parts of North Austin, Round Rock, Cedar Park, and Georgetown. So basically what I'm trying to say is you're not going to live in an echo chamber in Georgetown no matter what side you land on, because it's kind of split 50-50 Republican or Democrat. So something to be aware of if you're trying to live in a city where everyone thinks the same as you, Georgetown is not the place for that. And the sixth reason you may want to think twice about moving to Georgetown is its distance from Austin. So if you're moving to Austin to be close to Austin, Georgetown is probably not going to do it for you. It's out there. Like, it's going to take you 35, maybe 40 minutes to get from Georgetown to Austin. And I realize that that may not sound like a long period of time, especially if you are someone who's used to an hour and a half commute or being in the car for 45 minutes just to go to the grocery store. I totally understand that. But I want to also say that you're moving to Austin, if you are moving here, for a better life and for something different. And maybe you don't want to sit in traffic for an hour and a half one way. Maybe 40 minutes is fine for you. For me, it's not. So if I plan on going to Austin regularly, I could not live in Georgetown. Right now, I live about 20-25 minutes from downtown Austin, which is great. I would love to be a little bit closer, but any further away, and it just would not suit me. I like to go down there and eat and have drinks and do all the fun stuff that's going on in the city. Like, that's why I moved to Austin, is to be in Austin. But if you're moving to Georgetown and you don't plan on going to the city very often, cool, then it's not a problem. If you're moving to Austin, though, to be part of like the Austin culture and the Austin vibe and to do all the fun Austin-y stuff, living in Georgetown may hinder you from doing the things that you want. Just because the drive can be not just the time, but the traffic. We talked about traffic being one of the issues of living in Georgetown. It's not just the time of driving down there, it's the frustration of sitting in traffic. So you may think like, oh, we're going to go down to dinner. Oh, we're going to go see a show. Or we're going to go to one of the cool museums down there. And you get home from work at 4:35 and you're like, oh my gosh, I was just sitting in traffic to get home. And now I'm going to sit in traffic to get down to Georgetown. I don't know if I really want to go. That's going to start happening more and more. And then you're going to be like, we just live in any other suburb. We don't even go to Austin. Why do we move here? So just keep that in mind. When you are driving to Georgetown, right now, it's kind of a mix between like neighborhoods and farmland. So I had some clients come in one time and they were coming to check out like the new construction areas, and they were coming from California. They flew into Austin, and the Austin airport is really close to downtown. So you kind of drive through downtown. They drove through Cedar Park. They're going north and north, and then they start driving past like cow pastures and farms. And we finally get to the new construction area, and they were like, where are we? This is so far out. I don't even feel like I'm in Austin anymore. Like, we drove past farms. I'm like, I know, that's what's happening. And then Georgetown is pretty far out there. Like, you are going to pass some cows. You are going to pass some farm fields on your way to like your house in Georgetown, especially if you're looking for some of the new construction areas. They're out there, you know? So it's something really important to keep in mind is if you're moving to Austin to be in Austin, Georgetown may not be the best spot for you. So Georgetown is a really cool town. There's lots of fun stuff to do there, but really, it really is not the best fit for everyone. So I just want to make sure that everyone is aware of what Georgetown is and what it isn't. And these are some of the factors that I talk about when I get on Zoom calls with people that are moving out to Austin. So we talk about like, why are you actually moving here? What do you want to do? What kind of lifestyle do you want to live? What are you looking for in your home? And is Georgetown the right fit for you, or is there somewhere else that we should be looking? So if you're thinking about moving to Austin, my contact info is below. Feel free to reach out to me, jot it down, email, text, phone call, whatever works for you. I'm going to get you squared away when you're moving to Austin.